Welcome back to the shooting channel, and today we're going to go through how to set an adjustable comb up. Lots of people have been commenting below, talking to me at the shooting school about buying adjustable combs. There's loads of guns with adjustable combs, but how do we set it up? People get so complicated. My first thing would be to book yourself a lesson at a proper shooting school and ask the instructor to set it up for you, because once you've started adjusting that comb, the gun will shoot in a completely different place. And once they've set it up, I tend to take people on to a little sitting dustbin lid, sitting incomer, which we will show you in a minute. And then once you've set it up, go and shoot that. If you smoke it and you kill the bit as well, that will tell you exactly that the gun is shooting where you're looking. And that, to me, apart from going into the pattern plate, which again, that's a next step forward, but once you first get adjustable comb, that's the first thing you do. And the biggest thing you do is you take your gun. So I've got an XS Pro here, and in the box should be the Allen keys. And generally you set it up with XS's. It's normally in the buck plate, in where the actual recoil pad is. And you put the Allen key into there. I would say make sure you've got something like this to sit it on. So put the trigger guard up against it so it doesn't move. If you can't necessarily do it on your own, just ask somebody to put their hand on the barrel just to keep it still. And you put that into there, you undo that. And that comes off like that. Now again, if you look at that, this goes left to right, and then that goes into there. Now the only thing I would put in, and a lot of gun manufacturers don't necessarily come with it, I know Fausti come with them, is I would go down to your local home base or B&Q and get some washers, so that will go on into there, and then they stay there, they stay put. Because when you've got a brand new adjustable comb, they do have a tendency of moving until they're bedded in and in until you've shot them a fair bit. So get yourself some washers, put them into there, put them in there, and they won't move. Now, the reason why that goes left to right, I can move that like that, or like that, like that, like that, is because the whole idea of gun fit is for your eye to be smack down the middle of there, for you to go looking out there. And that's the whole idea of getting it. Now, some people, when they mount that gun, they might mount that gun and the eye might come this side of the rib, it might come that side of the rib. Now, this is where pushing that over left or right will bring the eye in line with that rib. And that is all you're trying to do. So once your head is straight onto that rib, and don't roll your head, your eyebrows have got to be parallel, and your head is on that comb, the whole idea is your eye is down that rib. So the gun is put, so you put that back in there. About there. You put that into there. And this is where a mirror may help you. So you can mount it, or if you've got your instructor, the instructor is there and he will tell you whether it's right. So now the instructor will ask you to mount the gun at you. You always ask the instructor and you show him that it's empty, or she, and you mount that gun there. And again, if I tell Alex my high might be below, so then you can try it. And if I lift it up a little bit more, like that. So I can lift it up, and then if I do it again, see, it lifts my eye up. If my eye's here, that means it's got to be slightly over. You've got to move that adjustable piece in there. And then once you are comfortable with where that is, and the instructor is comfortable where he's put that, then you go and you get yourself a little incomer, and that will show you if you're completely happy with it. So if I put my earphones on, put some cartridges in, again, this could take you, just to where your gun's shooting, it could take you 20, 25 cartridges just to get it absolutely perfect. Here's one I prepared earlier. And you give the button to Alex. And you look at the incomer, pull. And all you need is a nice little dustbin like that. Not too hard, doesn't have to be too particular. And this is after you've either checked the gun mount with your instructor, or you can do it if you've got a big mirror at home. You can do it on your own eye in the mirror, and you mount your gun into the mirror. So you put your earphones on and you put one cartridge in, close the gun up, get your kill point, pull. 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 For myself, again, I'm going to go back and just drop that comb a little bit because I feel I'm chipping it a little bit. So I'm just going to drop it a little bit and I'll be back. So I'm just going to drop so my eye comes a little bit closer to the rib. So again, if I've got my mirror or my instructor, I'll just mount that gun there and see my eye is slightly closer to that rib. So now when I kill my incomer, when I look at the bottom edge of the incomer, when it reaches the top, it should smoke that clay. The whole idea is when you're looking down there or in the mirror, you can see the whole of your eyeball just rising above that rib. And that means the gun will shoot where you're looking generally. Pull. And the first one was absolutely smoked. And that's exactly what I'm looking for when I'm shooting. Pull. And then I do the same with the top barrel. So if I put that onto the top barrel, and it should be very similar. Pull. 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 And the other thing that the instructor will be looking at when you do it is to make sure you don't roll your head. So if you watch my gun, what a lot of people do is do that. So my head is rolled over rather than your eyebrows parallel there. So that's the other thing that you've got to look at when you're setting this up, which is why it's worth getting yourself a shooting school, booking yourself a lesson, and either buying the gun within a lesson or going and setting up your adjustable comb within that lesson. So now I'm going to put the pair together and I'm going to do two of them. I'm going to do bottom barrel first. Pull. 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 And now what I tend to do is I put two cartridges in the gun and I shoot the clay with the first one, and then they'll shoot the biggest bit, because that really does realise that your gun will be looking, because your eyes will be on, your head will be on that wood, and you're looking with the bit with your eyes. Pull. And if you looked, I smoked the bit as well as the clay. Pull. 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 And that is how you would set up your adjustable comb on your gun. Don't be afraid to book that lesson at shooting school, because it will take time. It will take you an hour's lesson just to get it absolutely perfect, because you might get it right, then you might go out and shoot it, then you might change it. But once it is right, lock that key away, put those washers in there, and don't move it. Because a lot of people do, they go out, they have a bad day, and they blame the adjustable comb. 90% of the times it won't be the adjustable comb, it will be your whole gun fit and your whole move in the gun. So that is where you need that regular lessons to keep yourself going. I hope you enjoyed this film. Please like and subscribe, comment on anything you've seen in this film, and we'll see you next week.